and a decent travelling support has journeyed the 50 or 60 miles up the motorway to be here with them tonight to cheer them on. Rob Burrow, Leeds debut against Hull in April 2001 for the Great Britain and England international. Now the black and whites. It's actually 8 wins from the last 9. Only Wigan have a better run than that, and their only reverse in that run was a 20 points to 28 defeat against Wigan on April the 26th. And the black and whites coming out tonight with their mascot alongside them. And we met this young man, Steve and I, before the kick-off. Morgan Williams from Barton St Peters. He's a winger, and he is here to enjoy absolutely every minute of it. And so are we. This, Steve-O, could be a belter.
It certainly has a making. Leeds versus the black and whites. Not much love lost between the two sides. Big night also for the referee, James Child. There it is with the new camera on the head, give us the insights, the ref cam, and I must say that I was intrigued by it at the Magic weekend last weekend. It gave us a real insight, but it should be a cracker, Eddie.
It should be, and Hull FC start the match kicking off from right to left. Vickery, the Leeds winger, is underneath the kick-off, and it's a tremendous chase and a tremendous run from the kick-off, led by Mark O'Mealy and company. Here now is Ryan Bailey to drive it over the 20-metre line for the champions, the Leeds Rhinos. They lost their first ever meeting against Hull over at the Boulevard in 1998, 22 points to 10. That was in Super League, of course. Since then, they've dominated things against Hull, 27 wins and a draw from 37 encounters.
It's important that the black and whites really get into the defensive pattern. Remember last weekend against Hulkington Rovers, they're a little bit shaky in that department. They also came up with some simple errors. They've got to make sure that that is taken account tonight. Peter Gentle would have been working hard on that, and also the silly forward passes that they did. Lack of concentration. They can't afford to do that against Leeds.
Here's Gareth Ellis rolling back the clock to February the 1st. There is Brian McDermott, the Leeds Rhinos coach, watching as Danny Houghton takes them on. Yes, Ellis, he should have played in the first game of the year against Leeds at Headingley, going back to his former club. Limped out of the warm-up, a bitter blow for Hull. They didn't really recover for a couple of months into the season, and when you consider that Daniel Holsworth was out for long periods of the season as well. But he's back here now, and that's his pass to Jeremiah, and they go wide, and that's McDonnell, and he's stepped inside a couple. He's got support either side. That's a great ball to Crooks, and Crooks with a wonderful offload to Joe Westerman. And Westerman marks his comeback with the first try. Fantastic try from the black and whites. Crooks was tackled, he was down on his knees, and he still managed to get the ball away to Westerman. And Westerman, who has missed the last 3 with an injured hand, has just notched his 5th try of the season.
Wonderful tactics, the way that they utilise Daniel Holsworth wide. He normally takes Beckett, our second receiver, but he was put on, and what about the offload there from young Ben Crooks? Joe Westerman, the second rower. This was absolutely superb. Fullback knew exactly how to step away, kept it cool, dragged in Hardacre, but what about this for the final offload? It's out of the top drawer, sensational, tremendous stuff, and this is what the referee was seeing. Great camera work by the referee.
Joe Westerman's try, wonderful work by Hull, and added to by Holsworth's successful conversion. What a start for the black and whites. They lead 6-0.
Yeah, a little bit of defensive miscommunication on the left-hand side for the Leeds Rhinos. Rob Burrow and Ryan Hall getting all confused. Daniel Holdsworth switched from the short side onto the open, and a good ball out wide. Ryan Hall flew in, Robbie Burrow flew out, and it allowed them to get through. Beautiful offload for Joe Westerman to go under. Great start for Hull FC, great start for their fans, and I'm sure they have Magic Weekend out of their systems now. Looking forward to a victory for them tonight.
Yeah, O'Mealy will drive it forward for the black and whites. I am told, I don't know how true this is, but I'm told that Peter Gentle despite the fact that Hull came away with the victory against Hull Kingston Rovers in slightly peculiar circumstances, he has put that down in his win-loss column as a defeat, and he says the players start again tonight.
Well, sometimes it's easier to back up and play your next game after your side have lost, so maybe that helped to give them the extra motivation they needed. When they played against Leeds at the start of the season, there was very little threat in Hull's attack. We've clearly seen in the first minute of this match just how dangerous they can be now when they move the ball around.
Problems for Delaney. Remember, he was missing on the Magic weekend, and they were looking forward to him coming back, but Brett Delaney, he's had problems with the shoulder, but he looks very groggy indeed, went awkward into the tackle.
Yes, he's made his way back now into the line for Leeds, but he came up off the turf very gingerly and just plodded his way back. It'll be interesting to see how he shapes up when he next gets the ball. It might be coming here. Well, it went behind him, to be fair, and Watkins picked it up off the deck, almost half volleyed it to Zach Hardaker, and Hardaker is grounded on tackle number 4. Still inside their own half of the field, Leeds. And here's Delaney again, and 4 men come in and bring him down. That's the last tackle according to referee James Child, and so Sinfield with the kick. He drills it all along the deck because he knows that the rain started coming down about 15-20 minutes before the kick-off. It's freshened things up a bit. It's stopped now, and there is the Hull coach Peter Gentle.
Well, a better kick there from Kevin Sinfield. I mentioned before the game started, Eddie, that he's been off the boil, both with his kicking for conversions, penalties, and also in the field of play. And not surprising, oh, that's a real mess. That's a knock-on.
It is Briscoe deemed to have knocked the ball on, or is it no, it's a penalty to Hull.
Is he saying that the defenders need to clear the ruck? It's their responsibility to get away from the man when he's been tackled after the tackle's completed. And the referee's opinion is that Kyler Luluai there is interfering with the man with the ball.
Well, I disagree with you, Phil. I thought that the winger had actually moved off the mark and went behind the prop forward. Either way, the black and whites won't be worried about that. Oh, that's gone backwards. That should be play on. It is.
Here is Gareth Ellis. He's plucked that ball out of the air, and Hull now on tackle number 2, about 9 metres inside Leeds territory, with Holdsworth, who gives it then to Chris Green. New 3-year deal signed about an hour before the kick-off, so reward for Chris Green for a fantastic start. That's a hand in by Kevin Sinfield, so this ball will be picked up by Houghton. He knows it's the free play, and they can try anything here, because if Leeds do get the ball back,
they'll put the scrum down,
or they'll get the tackle in. The scrum will go down. Well, we've had one slightly contentious issue already tonight. So Stuart Cummings is up here with us. Stuart, what do you say of this?
Well, Kylie Luluai, he needs to come away. He got in a bad position in the tackle. He needs to come away to the side, and he's trying to get round to the front, and he's stayed in contact with Tom Briscoe. I think the penalty's fair.
So first tick in the box for match referee James Child. But it's head and feet at this scrum to the black and whites. That's James Child's view of events. And Houghton gets the ball away to Heremiah. Here they come again.
Well, it's obviously
the try scorer, Westerman.
It's obviously Heremiah is going to take first receiver. As I mentioned before, they're utilising Holdsworth out wide. Not surprised when you've got the likes of Crooks and Newman in the centres.
Heremiah again gets the ball away to McDonald's space. Oh, and very well intercepted by Hall, and he nearly got the fingertips to it.
Boy, this was a huge gamble. He knew he had left a huge hole for Tom Lynham.
He took the odds to it though, didn't he? If that had stuck, he'd have been away.
It was really clever how they created again the overlap. They couldn't get the ball to the man, but Lynham and Crooks, the guys playing right centre and right wing on the far side of the field, they've scored 25 tries so far this season for the Hull side. You know, that's 30% of the tries from those two players on the right flank. Don't be surprised if they keep going wide to that right side.
Gareth Ellis takes the ball into the 20-metre zone for the Leeds Rhinos. He'll want to get on with it quickly. He can't. He's been wrestled and harried by Jamie Jones-Buchanan. It's another penalty to the black and whites. Now, will they go for two here?
I think they'll tap. They've got Leeds. They've got them well done. They've gone for the 2. Oh, they're on the rack. They're all over the shop, and I would have gone for the quick one. Obviously, you see where the referee says that's where you're going. As an indication. Well, to concede 2 perhaps is better than the 6.
Jamie Jones-Buchanan, the man penalised for not clearing the ruck again on his 300th Leeds appearance. Tremendous servant to the Rhinos, this fella's been.
I'll say hey to that, Eddie. And one thing that Peter Jennell will be very, very pleased about is the form already of the fullback Shannon McDonnell. He has chimed in no more than 3 occasions, and he will be looking for a big game.
Holdsworth then from bang in front. He makes no mistake. And Hull FC are 8 points to the good.
Well, that's a fantastic and important kick. We saw last week in the Magic weekend that teams are electing to kick a goal when they can. 2 points takes it to 8. And Hull know that if they're going to win here tonight, every single point will count. They're playing well out there on the front foot. We've seen 2 penalties now in the last couple of minutes because Leeds are infringing in the play of the ball. That's showing they're pretty dominant when they're carrying the ball.
That ball from the kickoff hit that bare patch that Bill was referring to pre-game. It is absolutely rock hard. There were squash courts, temporary squash courts erected there for a tournament that has been held over the past week or so, and as you can see, the damage has been done to the pitch is considerable, and it is going to be difficult when that ball bounces in there. So something for the kickers to look out for, and something for us to look out for as the evening unfolds.
And something for the full-back to look out for and say, well, I'll take it on the full, as they should.
Holdsworth will pump this ball downfield, and Zach Hardaker does so well. Must have made about 25-30 metres then to take that ball on the full.
He's in great form as well, Hardaker. You're right, Eddie. His positional play at full-back is improving each week. Got plenty of style, plenty of skill.
Do you think then, Mike, he just positioned himself closer to Vickery to tempt Holdsworth to try and put the ball in the space between him and Hall, but he backed his pace to get there, and he really is good at those kick returns.
Yeah, well, I mentioned before that, he did well, Maguire, to hang on to that.
Did brilliantly.
Just getting back to that point in regards to that, before the game, Holdsworth was utilising the kicks. He was out there for 20-odd minutes, just doing nothing else but kicking to the corner.
Here's the last tackle on this set of 6 for the Rhinos. It goes into the air off the boot of Sinfield, looking for Ryan Hall. Claimed by He has support. The support is from Crooks. He's too quick. Crooks showing. Crooks all the way. Two of the best young things looking round in Super League. Lynham and Crooks. Normally Crooks combines for Lynham, but this time it was Lynham combining for Crooks. And it's a stern face that belongs to Brian McDermott. Ben Crooks, 12th try of the season in Super League. He is just one behind Tom Lynham before coming into this match.
Now what a combination, these two, and what a combination for the future of our game in this country. Lynham, absolutely superb, released the ball, he knew that Crooks had the pace, and this young combination, when you kick for the corner, you've got to make sure that someone drops back, and it was sheer quality, top class, the pass to this fella Crooks, and the two youngsters celebrate, and they have every right to do that.
Well, Tom Lynham's 21 and Ben Crooks is 19. A golden generation developing for the black and whites, I wonder, down that right-hand side.
Well, I think coaches would say that catch is an advanced skill which he's mastered at a very early age. And then, well, Ben Crooks, what can you say? That's just brilliant speed. It's a disadvantage, of course, when you're running in rugby league with the ball. The sprinters chasing usually make ground on you, but Crooks was quick enough to get 4 points.
And Holdsworth has missed with the conversion, but it's 12-0 to the black and whites. A great start for them, and not so for the champs.
Yeah, it was a kick into the corner, but you look how he leaps there, Lynham. Really should have been put under pressure. And you'd have to say that Jamie Jones-Buchanan should have dropped back. You've got to have someone behind in case this happens. Take nothing away from this youngster, though. What a combination, and let's hope we see that for many, many years to come.
Well, if you press pause when that kick went in the air, Brian, and said what happens next, most people would guess that it's a Ryan Hall try.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd expect Ryan Hall to pluck up leap into the air and pluck the ball out, exactly like Tom Lynham did. I didn't think Tom Lynham took enough out of Zach Hardacre. I thought he needed to draw him a little more. How wrong I was. He gave the ball to Brent Crooks, and Brent Crooks showed that with Zach Hardacre coming herring at him, he still had the speed to go on a great arcing run. We have a look at it now. Tom Lynham's decision to pull Zach Hardacre in and leave his centre go out wide. Ben Crooks on that occasion showed some great pace.
Well, the top four for the first time this year is certainly beckoning the Black and Whites of Hull FC after 13 and a half minutes.
This is an important, Eddie, this is an important factor now that Peter Jantel has to get the message out. You do not relax. And this guy won't relax, that's for sure. He's in top form. Danny Houghton controls things at the dummy half, but Hull really have to concentrate now, and the kick is good. That's a great kick from Holdsworth. Absolutely superb.
Well, as you say, for 20 minutes before the match he was practicing that, trying to push the ball into the corner. Tremendous it was. I think he probably would have preferred it to stay in the field of play and ask Leeds to run it back from their own line, but a scrum with head and feet is good enough.
Well, they'll be hunting the error, that is for sure, because Leeds, of course, hardly any possession. They know they've got to get back on into this game as quickly as possible. They've got to be careful now, don't to be too outrageous.
Well, Daniel Holdsworth has only played about half of the games that Hull have featured in this season. If he stays fit to the end of the season, Eddie, there are the potential, in my opinion, Hull, to make it to the grand final. It was 4 months since they were embarrassed at Leeds at the start of the season. We're about 4 months exactly to the grand final. And if Hull continue to develop and improve the way they are at present over the last month, these guys are the dark horses.
On for a 40-20 kick here, and McDonald deals with the threat, just knocks it back. Yes, there was such hope for Hull 2005 when they won the Challenge Cup. They got to the grand final 12 months later, 2006. They've faded a bit since, but there is real potential in this part of the world at the moment.
That was a great kick by Kevin Sinfield, Eddie. He's jumped down the short side. Although he didn't get the 40-20 he was looking for, he put Shannon McDonald under enough pressure with the kick that he's had to flick the ball back inside. Leeds are in a great position now to chase a Hull FC mistake and try and cause a turnover.
If they could have slipped that pass, Gareth Ellis was on his way, but he had to hang on with the man in possession. And it looks like one of the youngsters coming on for the Leeds Rhinos, Brad Singleton, on the sideline there, which warming up, getting ready. Here comes Hardacre.
Pretty good chase as well there by the Black and Whites. They're looking very comfortable.
Well, they are so far, and that probably is mirrored by the look on Brian McDermott's face at the moment. So good in defeat against Wigan. But second fiddle so far tonight, but this man might turn it round, Luluai.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that Brian McDermott will be pleased about is that, remember, we've often said that the success of this Rhinos outfit, it hangs around Kevin Sinfield's kicking game. As he said, he didn't get the 40-20, but at least he knows he's getting into his zone.
Delaney, he tried to slip that pass, he did, he lost it. And so it's a free play for Gareth Ellis. He'll go down, and because he's about to the same place, they're going to call this the zero tackle.
You know, he's the type of player, Gareth Ellis, that he just gets through so much work. Doesn't have to say much out there on the field of play. Follow me, I'm the example. Never stop, keep at it.
Well, the referee has actually called this as the third tackle. Maybe didn't rule that it was a knock-on by Leeds. Maybe it was a ball steal or a loose ball on the floor. Here's a penalty for obstruction.
It was too obvious.
Ironic cheers from the terraces from Leeds, of course, because they had a penalty cruelly go against them at the Magic weekend.
Yeah, you can't get away with that. No way in the world that Gareth Ellis was going to go. You see him go through as soon as he contacted. As soon as he hit the Leeds player.
Stuart, just back to that, what I thought was a knock-on that James Child clearly didn't. The free play never came.
No, they ruled that Delaney had tried to offload the ball backwards, and he bounced. It was then played backwards by Hull. So the first tackle was the correct call.
Well, Burrow's waiting at dummy half. Here is Ryan Bailey now. And Bailey will try and take it forward. It's his 250th appearance in Super League for Bailey. Now it's with Sinfield, pops it up to Jamie Jones Buchanan. It was a good tackle, but they were offside, I think, or was it a shoulder charge?
They've ruled a shoulder charge on this one, really.
Shoulder charge then. Thanks, Stuart. Burrow is waiting at dummy half. Here is the first opportunity for the Rhinos here with Singleton. Very impressive off the bench against Wigan on Sunday, trying to do same again here tonight, this Friday. And Burrow will have a little run at them. Look, blimey, Ellis took him out. Oh, did he ever? Singleton's there. Back it comes to Sinfield again. Sinfield scrapped it around by Ellis. Gareth Ellis up for the challenge here against his former club. Maguire though to Hardaker, nice dink into the in-goal area.
Too far.
I think it was off Ryan Hall. It's going to be a 20-metre restart, but James Child will ask video referee Richard Silverwood just to confirm. You won't get a closer look than this.
Now then, does he get a hand to it? I think he does. It'll be a dropout, I think.
I think his foot might already be out when he plays the ball.
Yep, that's fine. It'll be a 20-metre tap.
20-metre restart, yeah.
This is the ref's view. This is why he asked Richard Silverwood for a quick look.
And he's every right to do that. It was touch and go, wasn't it? Well, Leeds really have to muscle up now. They've got to make their... Remember it against St Helens, they were leading 16-0, fell in a little bit of a heap in their defensive line. They've got to make sure that they worked it hard together. Good offload.
And so was that. And here comes Harry Meyer. He shot away from Maguire.
He's dropped it. Well, that was white line fever, but not the try line or the goal line, as they call it.
I think he's given a penalty, Mike.
He's brought them back already, is it? Because it was a high shot earlier on. Well, he knew he was on his way to the try line, and he just lost control of it. But they have got the possession back with the penalty.
Well, they do. They get the possession back with the penalty just inside the Leeds half, but it would have been a try had Holdsworth managed to keep the ball in hand.
Well, it would have been the end to a perfect opening quarter. 20 minutes in, it would have possibly or probably been 18 points to nil. They've still got that chance, but to break down the Hull side at the moment will be difficult now on the try line. Unbelievable, great defence from Hull, and wonderful and dangerous in attack.
Here's Andy Lynch. Off the bench, 15 of 18 Super League seasons for Andy. Castleford, Bradford and now Hull. And that's not a bad run from the England Knights international Liam Watts. He gets it away to Westerman, who gets it away to Haramiah, who looks full of it tonight, doesn't he?
Yeah, does he? But he's taking them on.
And that's Ellis.
Oh, look for the offload. There was somebody there as well.
Quick playing the ball. Haramiah finds Holdsworth. Holdsworth stabbed it to the in-goal. Could be a try for Kirk Newman.
I think he's got it down before he goes anywhere near the whitewash. I thought perhaps they might have gone for the wrong option with a little dink through. James Child probably unsighted on this one.
The first thing on this is we've got to check for onside because it's coming from a kick, and it looks like all the players are onside. And the other question obviously is the grounding. He's very close to the touchline with two players in view as well. So he's got to retain possession, put the ball down.
That's a try to my book. I've got to give this.
Now the video referee needs to make sure that the initial contact, there's no separation. I think you can see that there's definitely separation.
Boy, isn't it amazing how you get another different angle. Well, technology works.
Well, this is going to be chalked off. Just a small separation. It was a wonderful kick, and it just came away from him.
It looked all the world, and he's confused as Kirk Newman, but the halfback combination, you know, Holdsworth and Haramiah, they are on fire.
Yes, they are. And so are Hull at the moment. quarter of the game gone.
They got Leeds guessing, Eddie. They're keeping the ball alive, Hull FC, offloading quite late when Leeds have retreated. Suddenly Leeds are turning around and seeing the ball is still in play, and they're mixing up their passing and kicking game very well. At the moment, if you're a Rhinos defender, you're just not sure what's coming at you, and it's working well for the home side.
And Singleton to his feet, plays it to McShane. Sinfield helps it on then to Burrow.
Interesting move there by Brian McDermott. Brought off Paul McShane to the dummy half roll and he's pushed Burrow out wide.
High kick here though from Sinfield. This is easy for McDonald. Let's go down to Bill.
Eddie Brett Delaney, who of course was hospitalised after the last time he appeared, that was the game against St Helens a couple of weeks ago, has already been taken off the field by the Leeds Rhinos, but I think that's more to do with the fact that he really has had a bit of ground to make up since coming back into the side. He was hospitalised, he lost a lot of weight and was actually on a drip at one point, so he's done well to even get back into action tonight. He's done his stint, he's been relieved. Paul McShane is on in his place.
Yes, and with quite a job on Paul McShane and the Leeds Rhinos. There's Delaney. He took an early bang as well in one of the tackles he put in and got back up to his feet very gingerly indeed. But this is a good defensive set for the Leeds Rhinos here. Means that Holdsworth has to kick from deep and straight into the arms of Hardacre. But it's a decent chase.
Yeah, pretty solid as well. That'll please their coach Peter Gentle. Brian McDermott, as I say, ringing the changes, wants to try to get some sort of impact. They haven't had much possession, they haven't had good field position either, and the problem is they've missed 5 tackles already. Burrow nearly through.
They just managed to get a hand on him. Here goes McShane. Jamie Jones. McShane waits and schemes. 15 metres out. Sinfield. Maguire. Back it comes to Hardacre. He finds Watkins. He steps inside Yeaman. Steps through McDonald. Almost another copybook try from Watkins.
Good job that Ellis was there.
I think Watkins is hurt.
Don't tell me he's hurt. Well, that is going to be a bitter blow. Let's hope that it's just a knock that he can overcome. He went in awkward. Ellis goes right over and look at the ankle there. Oh, dearie me. That has twisted over the leg and the ankle.
Daniel, makes you square at marker. Right.
You could see him twisting round as Ellis gets to him. Ankle or knee, either way. It's put a lot of pressure on that limb.
Tell you what he did do, Eddie, is he exposed some pretty poor defending on the Hull FC's left-hand side. Kirk Yeaman and Daniel Holdsworth, I think it was one over Chase and Callum Watkins. We know how good he is. He was able to step back inside. Gareth Ellis just coming to the rescue. But this seems to be the net effect. Yes, well, it looks like his right ankle, Steve-O's got crushed underneath. A very good cover tackle from Gareth Ellis. We hope for the excitement in this game that Callum Watkins is able to continue, but it's not looking good.
I don't know what the signal from the physio in orange meant, but he crossed his arms, which isn't placing the incident on report. I just hope it doesn't mean it's a break.
No, I think it means he's coming off. And generally, what I've noticed with physios, a straight arm up in the air means he's okay, he's good, he'll carry on playing. But the cross means he's got to come off, I think, and they'll make a change.
Normally, don't they do a dozy-do movement with the hands?
They might have revamped it now.
Okay,
none of it trendy.
Remodernised it a bit, eh?
A dozy-do.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, grab your partners, let's get into it. Well, that would have lifted the spirits. It's a shame that he has to leave the field, but that's sidestepping run. There's the indication, the sign. And I must say, that is a bitter blow to Leeds, who are in a real spot of bother, 12-0 down.
They are, with Callum Watkins, their X-factor player, off the field. Bill.
Well, Watkins, it looked as though he was going to go straight to the dressing room, but they're going to put him down on the bench, give him a look there before they go to the dressing room. But Brett Delaney's rest from action has been very brief. Delaney, I think, has only been off the field for about 5 or 6 minutes. Delaney is back on, and Watkins in the meantime is in the dugout getting a bit of treatment, so maybe there's just a possibility that they'll be able to ice that and think about getting him back on, but not looking good at the moment.
No, it's a bitter blow, that. for the Rhinos.
Well, Brett Delaney's back on, Eddie, and he's into the right centre position, but that won't be unusual to him. He came over to this country, if you remember, I think from the Gold Coast Titans as a centre. He's moved into the back row for Brian McDermott and been exceptional in that position, but moving one position out further wide shouldn't trouble him too much.
Chris Clarkson had the wind taken out of him by that tackle from Gareth Ellis as well. These tackles from Hull are hurting. It's brutal defence, it's clean defence,
And it's
causing Leeds some problems.
Yeah, it's effective, but this is a crafty kick there by Paul McShane. He knows his side's in a lot of trouble. Let's get it down into the quarter. If you're going to make errors, you may as well make him way down in the opposition red zone.
Gareth Ellis is also in a spot of bother now. And I don't know whether we had a camera on that particular physio, but he did the dozy-do then.
On the out call, arms around, make sure we're tightly packed in, Danny.
Maybe we got that a bit late. Don't start.
Arms around, sir. Stay.
Anybody who's followed any sport knows that champions don't give it easy, and especially when they're under pressure on the back foot, as Leeds have been here now for 25 minutes. But they're hanging on in there and they're giving themselves a chance. If the score goes much past 12, the game becomes much more difficult to come back from. But they've hung in there. Obviously they've had a chance to attack, and they're getting a little bit more even with possession.
Well, Ellis has been removed from the field for the time being. He's obviously got a problem.
Move all the way in the hole. Just wait, Ryan.
But a discipline now needed by Leeds. Make sure they don't give away 30-40 metres downfield with a penalty.
Johnson, first touch for him.
Release, ball, come on, hold.
Holsworth, kick up and over and behind the defenders will make them retreat to their own in-goal area. That's victory. Oh, what a great kick.
There can't be many people, Eddie, watching this game that, I finished the point there, well done, stayed in the field of play. There can't be many people watching the game that don't think that Leeds will have a major say at some point. It's how Hull FC deal with it. We're 26 minutes into the game, and I don't think Leeds have hit their straps at all yet in this game. They average about 25 points a Super League game in 2013. Expect them to cross the line. It's how Hull can respond to that threat will determine the outcome of this game.
Looks like a wrist problem for Gareth Ellis.
Move, Paul, hold it 10.
They'll be hoping it's not a break for him. He's been instrumental, him and Holsworth, in this charge up the table.
Well, that's a great kick, but what's the chase like? Not bad.
But it was in the air for a while. It skimmed off the surface.
I've never seen the black and whites look so confident this season, Eddie.
They're playing very well.
Yeah, they seem to know that everybody's job, not getting any in way of each other, just getting through the hard work. And the link is working quite superbly, especially on that right flank where the two youngsters, Crooks and Lynham, are.
Here's Galea. That was good work by Delaney. He made sure he wasn't going too far past him on the left-hand side.
Well, he's missed the last 8 games, hasn't he, Galea, as they go back into the middle. They're now going to get, Eddie, I think, a real threat on the left-hand side. Ben Galea will help Kirk Yeeman, and we've seen how dangerous and already spoken about the right side as well.
Last tackle, so up it goes off the boot of Holsworth. He was under pressure from Maguire. Nothing illegal about it, though. Despite the protestations from the stands here at the KC Stadium.
It was a good take as well by Joe Vickery.
That might have been high from Johnson round the neck of Zach Hardaker.
It should have been a penalty.
Here goes Ryan Hall.
Boy, this is bruising defence, though, by the black and whites. They mean business.
Maguire, Jamie Jones-Buchanan.
Still to make a clean break, the Rhinos.
Plenty of men in the tackle all the time for Hull. It's going to be a free play. It's going to be a knock-on. They're coming back for the first knock-on, which was by Leeds.
Yeah, not the best. Lack of concentration. You see, it really shouldn't have been offloaded. It was going behind Singleton.
Well, that's the second time, isn't it, now in half an hour where Leeds have given up the ball, and you can see Andy Lynch celebrating that. Doesn't get you points, but it certainly increases your chance of doing so when you get the possession to start inside your opponent's half. Perfect situation here now. Getting towards the half-hour mark, some fatigue sets in, concentration starts to break in defence, and Hull are looking to exploit it.
Well, it's turned a bit nasty in May for Leeds following a run of 8 unbeaten matches in March and April. And the object of the exercise now is to make it 3 grand finals in a row for Leeds and Brian McDermott, their coach, in his 3rd year as the head man at Headingley. But they're in a real contest here tonight with this ambitious team, the Black and Whites, and that wasn't the best kick.
Oh, it was charged down. The 3 previous kicks there by Daniel Holdsworth were deep, right into the corner. Just got a little bit overexcited there.
I think you'd have to guess that they've pre-planned to kick early in the tackle count, haven't you? And that the second time, the one into the corner when Yeaman's try was disallowed, was again very early in the tackle count. They must think against this fast-moving Leeds defence, which gets into the face quickly. There's time and space behind it, although Leeds have certainly worked their way back in, making good meters with the ball, particularly Burrow and his teammates. McShane this time held just over the halfway.
And he plays the ball, and this is the last tackle. Burrow just flings it back wildly, lucky to get away with it. Hardacre will pump it into the air, and underneath it is McDonald. He does well.
Yeah, he's having a fine game as a fullback, that is for sure, but boy, Leeds looked so disorganised there. The run from Burrow, I don't think they anticipated that.
Big game coming up Monday, Huddersfield going so well against St Helens. 7:30 Sky Sports 1 HD, first one on a Monday in 3D. Here's Crooks, and Crooks is held round the ankles. The support arrives from Houghton, and he bounces off a couple. Joel Moon's after him, but he still gets the ball away to Liam Watts, and Leeds scramble back and muscle up in defence.
Well, Crooks just ghosted through.
Here's Holdsworth, he's seen a gap, he's gone for it as well.
Just couldn't offload. That's a silly penalty. He's got to learn, this fella. He's impressed me as Brad Singleton, but to do a thing like that when your team's under pressure, he knows it as well. He's gone for the second pull. Will they go for the 2? They did previous.
Yeah, they've signalled they're going to. There's the penalty, that's the signal from the referee. And he's now waved his touch judges behind the posts, so Holdsworth fancies his chances.
I get the feeling watching this that Hull FC are doing to Leeds what we've seen Leeds do to so many teams over the years. They're breaking free out wide at will, they're backing up, great numbers, throwing the ball around and playing it too quickly, forcing the opposition to concede penalties. Defensively, Hull FC are playing brilliantly tonight. That's reflected in the scoreboard, yet to concede a point. But attacking-wise, Eddie, I'm not sure I've seen them play this free-flowing. When we've seen them certainly on Sky, they were very good in their win against Warrington at Warrington. But this is a complete performance in attack and defence from the home side.
Supporters are anxious to make their presence felt, and so is this fella, Peter Gentle. Goes about his business in a cool, calm and collected way. Sit down, lads. Sit down, lads.
Long way to go yet. They're celebrating too early.
Good job it's half term. Might get a bit of stick on Monday. He's missed another there, Holdsworth.
Did that one go over, Eddie? I wasn't quite sure that the height of the
our angle, it looked like it was close.
I think it peeled away to the left.
Do you?
But it's close, isn't it?
There's been an argument to be saying that maybe the goalpost should be a bit higher, longer, taller.
Oh, don't get me started. Rod Studd thinks there should be a net.
Well, I've seen taller goalposts in schools.
Stuart Cummings happy with that decision of the touch judges.
I was happy with Tim Roby, who was right on that post, and he was looking straight up at it. It looked like it went over the top of the post, which of course was no goal, but the height of the post doesn't help at all.
No, they're a bit small, aren't they?
They are.
Oh, and they won't be happy with that either. Jeremiah, first mistake he's made.
That could be the turning point. They haven't had much field position. He took his eyes off the ball. He was being pressurised by Chris Clarkson. And Jeremiah, who's had a tremendous game so far, knows that this could be the point. All Leeds have to do now is that they can snatch a try before the half-time break. Boy, that'll be a huge lift because they know they've not been involved in this game enough.
Let's quickly go down to Bill.
A real sad sight. Callum Watkins sitting on the sidelines, and the boot has gone on. The strapping is on his right ankle. The crutches are out. Obviously, his work for this evening is finished, and it could be a long layoff for Callum Watkins, which is a real blow for the Rhinos. He has been in fantastic form, epitomised by that try he scored at Magic Weekend. Just a word about Gareth Ellis as well, who left the field in mysterious circumstances. He's been seen by the doctor. He's back out warming up. I wonder whether he just fell ill for a moment. He came off the field, they checked him out, he's back on the sidelines now.
Well, fair enough. It's interesting. I wonder if they were checking his pulse then when they were looking at touching the wrist. But,
Yeah, you're right, Eddie.
We'll see.
But he's lost it.
Come up, Maguire, the ball.
He claims that it was reefed away.
They got to play now to the half-time, Eddie. They got 6 minutes or so to go, and they played terrible. Leeds Rhinos I'm talking about now. Whether or not they score, I think, is irrelevant. They just got to make sure they don't concede. Go in at 12-0 down at half-time. Let Brian McDermott gather the troops together, put a plan together for the second 40 minutes, and you got a chance in this game. Concede a try before you go in, it becomes so much more difficult.
Yes, and when you think it could actually be 16-0 because Holdsworth has missed 2 kicks, which, I mean, I've never kicked a goal in my life, but they looked fairly easy for a man of that quality.
Could add to that, Yeeman almost grounded the ball as well, didn't they? Another 4 points.
That's a great kick from Holdsworth.
He's really controlling things, isn't he? He's learnt his lesson. Remember, he tried a little chip over the top, didn't come off. Get it downfield. That's what Peter Gentle would have told him.
Well, they kicked Warrington to death, didn't they, a couple of weeks ago on a Friday night that we saw at Halliwell Jones Stadium.
Yep.
And Holdsworth was the key to all that, with a bit of help from Danny Houghton. Sinfield, he puts the shoulder to the wheel week in, week out, this fella. Ever present for Leeds in the last 3 years. Remarkable run.
The whole defence are just not allowing Leeds any room to move at all.
Now then, that Jeremiah challenge
was a bit late, wasn't it? And
well, it was low, and it was one of those, don't they call them cannonball tackles? Where 2 hold him up and 1 comes in and takes the legs. Very difficult, very, very dangerous that.
Yeah.
Kick to the corner is a good one.
Is it ever?
McDonald picks it up for Hull. Trapped. Still manages to make a couple of metres. Then he's pushed back the 2.
Do you think, Mike, we've seen the best positional kicking of a half in Super League this season? Because both Sinfield and Holdsworth are repeatedly putting the ball just short of the try line.
You're right, Phil, because this is one of the most major parts in the modern day rugby league. You've got to make sure you're kicking gamers. If you go back and look at those grand finals that Leeds have been successful, you can always pinpoint the man. Kevin Sinfield had a great kicking game, and that's the reason why they lifted the trophy.
Jeremiah goes down on the last tackle here coming up for Hull. And there'll be a kick again from Holdsworth. This time it's high. And Vickery's underneath it. He doesn't look too secure. He wasn't. That touched him. He's got to run this ball away. Oh, he's running straight across and he's trapped in goal. A fantastic chance by young Tom Lynham. Look at the celebrations.
Oh, dearie me. This is the Orient Express. Bang! Straight on. That's first class.
He must have thought the game was a whole KR because he sets off in that direction across the field, Brian.
You can't have that much time in the field of play when you're running a ball out and not grounded inside the field of play. That's Joe Vickery's he's wound up, got to wind up, get down there. It's going to hurt a little. You cannot run that way when you got so many defenders in front of you. It's making it too easy for them. I'll just pick up your point on a half-back kicking game. Danny Brough might disagree. Earlier this year, Huddersfield went and played Leeds, and Danny Brough, I think, was responsible for kicking the ball so well against Leeds Rhinos and causing so much difficulty for the likes of Joe Vickery that he guided his side to a victory in that game. We'll see it on Monday. We're seeing a repeat of a great kicking game again today.
I meant, Brian, in terms of both sides having kickers making accurate kicks. On that occasion, of course, Danny Brough was outstanding. It's rare to see both teams having players kick the ball so accurately, and it's kept the game scoreless for quite a while.
Oh, and they're too long in the tackle, Clarkson and Jamie Jones. So another penalty to the black and whites. Now, will Holdsworth fancy the chances?
The kick to the corner, and they've done the right thing.
Too long on the grounded player.
Yeah, the official was screaming, get off him. He refused to do that. Sheer frustration by the Leeds defenders, that's for sure. Now then, keep your eye out for Jeremiah.
Well, Andy Lynch has got them to within 10 metres of the line. There's Houghton. And Houghton has seen Saturday. He was outstanding in the win at Warrington. And Danny Houghton has just given Hull a big say in what's going to happen in the second half.
Silly penalty to give away. You can't afford to do that. They're straight to the referee, James Child. That's what he's got to put up with all the time. They pose the question, and that is poor defence. Chris Clarkson, very slow to move. This guy, what? You can see there, Jamie Jones Buchanan came out of the line. It's similar to, remember, when they just fell apart against St. Helens, close to the line. First and second markers, shocking. Sinfield's asking, he's inquiring. It's too late.
And the shake of the head from James Child. Kevin Sinfield asking about the validity of the penalty, I think, as the captain and anyone who speaks properly to the officials is entitled to do. But they've just conceded 6 points at a crucial time. And Peter Gentle leaves the stadium for the half-time talk with his team 18-0 up.
And fully deserved. They really have busted, but that is very poor first and second markers. Singleton, Paul McShane, they both went the same way. Schoolboys don't do that, and you know, Brian McDermott, the Leeds coach, is fully aware of it.
That will do. There's the half-time siren. It was a short kick-off from Holsworth. They played the joker and it didn't come up for them. Houghton's tried right on the stroke of half-time. Kevin Sinfield and co with a little bit of work to do in the second half. Two great games.